sure this thing's working. Alright, cool. So, I think I'm going to start with repainting the dogs, because that is not what I was going for. Dry brushing really just made it look like concrete, or yeah, some sort of rock or pavement or something. So, but for future reference, Dungeon Gray and Deck Tan make a really nice stone kind of rocky look. So I'll definitely have to remember that for later. But I'm just gonna spray this with a Deck Tan first. So that's the first thing on the list. And then, while those are drying, I will finish the metals. Well, actually, I'll probably do the glazing on the body. I feel like that's a good place to start. No, I gotta do all the metals, all of this, because before I can do the weathering, I need to do the metal work. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Mix it up a little bit. See what happens. Kind of like to do things in chunks, just because it makes future editing a little easier. But we will see where this goes. Color hit. I know his helmet is like a green color. I don't know what color his little collar is. But it doesn't really matter. We're gonna start with the paints and take it from there. I need to move these guys out of the way just a smidge. Dogs here. Trying to plan ahead a little bit. Weathering all the metals and stuff. Get to the finishing work. All right. Let's see here. Gotta change this filter. And give this a shaky shake. Now I think I'm going to base coat it in Deck Tan. I still may go and dry brush it with a little bit of a white, like an off-white, something a little brighter. Just give them a little highlight. But yeah, this is my base coat. That gray was not a good idea. can. It's very liquidy. Like over diluting it. airbrush needs a cleaning, so I gotta do this real quick. And by real quick, I mean not quick. It takes a minute. I need to give it a full alcohol bath here because there's some dried up stuff in there. I just put this thing in some alcohol and just let it soak overnight or something. I don't know much about airbrush maintenance. It's probably time I learned. I mean, more so than just cleaning it. I don't know what like long-term maintenance does it need to be. You need to oil it or grease it or disassemble it, replace the seals. I don't know. Some of that, all of that. I'll find out when my airbrush dies. All right, getting there. Time for an airbrush upgrade sooner than my birthday. Now we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to use my airbrush, but back on when I do. You know what? On second thought, I think I do want to do the glazing, the skin, get that work on the skin tone tonight. That, I'm going to use this medium glaze and pastel blue and basically just dilute this down and kind of brush it over the highlight, the highest parts, and then just kind of work my way, down. And so it's like the more times I coat it, the brighter it'll get. And the idea is that I have a little more of a controlled sort of gradient as I go up or down into the recesses, because I don't want the skin to look dirty, but I gotta leave the darkness. So this dark blue is the darkness of the crevices. So now I'm just gonna kind of work my way up. Chunks in there. Pretty clear cut. So a couple drops of pastel blue. A little more than a couple. That's okay with it. Let's do. Glaze medium. Quite a bit of that. Water. Water. So yeah, this is gonna go on kind of wet and liquidy, and then it just kind of has to dry, and you just kind of work your way up. Start with somewhere a little more inconspicuous. Maybe a finger. You don't actually get to see it the first coat. Now you don't usually see that much of a difference. It's gonna look wet, and as you add more, it's a little more. It starts to get a little more pronounced. Now the only place I'm trying to avoid really is darker spots for recesses. Anything else I want to do? A little bit. Area I'm going to be adding a little bit of black to it too for his hair, your hairy arms. This glaze is probably a little thicker than it should be. I'm going to add to it in just a second. Just got to remember I'm painting skin tone, not light and shadow necessarily. I don't want to go overboard, but at the same time, you know, it's nice having this level of control. Let me delete that a little bit because yeah, it's going on a little heavy. Yeah, there we go. Start. We're gonna get some build up now. see the difference because of the lighting in here, but let it dry. Fingers again. A little bit of a harsher contrast than I normally like, but I like it. I'm leaving a little more of a high contrast on it around his face because it's very small, so I don't want to let those details kind of pop out. following his muscles. I give him a good skin tone coat, and then I'll go back and add some highlight. I think I'll add another layer, just the highest points. Let it dry first, Bobby. Keep going backwards. Yeah, just kind of following the contours of the model. Doesn't have to be exact. I want it to be a little rough because I want it to kind of blend naturally. There's always some imperfections in the skins, and gives a little bit of character. I'm just a little patchy, especially around like elbows and thicker parts. Worn pieces of skin be a little discolored. So main thing is just stay out of the bottoms, out of the recesses. Build up and let it dry. And know when to fold them. least. That one is drying. Go back and build this one up a little bit more. What's up, man? I am trying to balance this thing. All right, here we go. Just trying to get some glaze on this skin. Build it up a little bit. It's so small, I didn't want to use an airbrush. You just hose it down, you know, you can't really control it. So this glaze method is doing the job. Try to blend it with the brush a little bit. And now I'm just going back and hitting high spots. I'm just trying to blend it a little bit. I am painting Lobo and his dog. Hey, thank you, appreciate that. Been so busy the last couple weeks. This project has really drug on much longer than I thought it was going to take. But it's not about speed. It's about having a good time while you do it, right? Just had vacations and graduations and all kinds of stuff happening. First few weeks of summer is usually pretty active. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it finishes up. Putting this coat of pastel glaze on there, really starting to make these muscles stand out. So yeah, it's starting to come together. I think on my monitor that I'm looking at, it is like super bright. I hope it's visible for you guys. Yeah, on my monitor over here, it's just blown out. You really can't see the detail. But in my face hole, looking pretty good. Building up the super high spots. Well, not super high, but giving it a little bit more contrast. I'm going to need to blend this in down here, but it's looking pretty sick. How do you airbrush skin tones? Oh, thanks. Thanks for confirming that. Look good. So for skin tones, for like normal skin tones, like normal human skin tone, I go with a brown rose for a base, and then usually like a barbarian flesh, like a little darker bit of a flesh tone for like male characters. For female characters, I usually use like a basic flesh. And just kind of spray from the top down, and then seal it, and then do the washes, the blue, the red, and the yellow. Or sometimes I use purple, because purple instead of blue will keep it a little warm, you know. I did it on the cable statue and it looked really good. Anyway, so after you do your washes, you then just kind of build up from there. that's basically it. I try to keep my skin tone kind of simple, and I finally have a good mix that I'm happy. I'm happy with the process. It's just funny, since I started making YouTube videos, I haven't done a character with a really good skin tone yet. So um, I don't have any good examples. The Magneto statue that I did video, my first one, um, he has a very, very limited amount of skin, like, because he's got his helmet on. Yeah, like I said, the brown rose is kind of like it's like a warmer. Is it that? No, that's barbarian flesh, but barbarian flesh is a good kind of skin tone. But for a base, yeah, this is what I use, the Vallejo brown rose, and it's just kind of a warm brown, and it's a good foundation. And then after that, it's just, like, if you want to go light, like, a light flesh, it's going to dry a little bit darker than it looks in the body. So yeah, and then it's usually those are my one of these two are my top coats. And then the honestly, the yellow wash will bring your skin back up. Yeah, like if you haven't done the tricolor wash, that will usually kind of bring it back up. There's also Vallejo makes a sunny skin or something like that. That's pretty good for lighter skin tone. I already got this. Oh, I'll do it again. I like building up skin tones with glazes, just because you get like way more control. And since this is more akin to a mini than it is my normal statue, I figured this technique is probably the way to go. Alright, I still don't know how I'm going to get in there and do his little face markings. He's got like black markings on his face. You can sort of make them out, but I'll have to go in there with magnifying glass. Do that later. Yeah, man, I hope that helps. It took me a long time to get it nailed down, but there's plenty of other people, video sites that can, painting tutorial guys that can do it, or give you a good idea how to do it. This is actually just a personal model. I'm making two of them, as you can see. I'm making one for me and one for Buddy. I'm gonna ship to him. So one has magnets and one doesn't. I'm gonna send him the magnetized version so I can ship it. See, so right now his skin's the glaze is starting to kind of flatten out his skin. I'm probably gonna need to seal it again. Satin varnish. Bring that back up before I put the metal on. The metal I like to do last and not varnish over it, because I think it kind of dulls it down, takes away some of the luster of the metal. Yeah, so waiting for the dogs to dry. I gotta base coat them. Once I get everything base coated and sealed and the metal's done, then I will start my weathering, which is going to be really going to tie everything together, I think. Right now everything's super bright, like everything's bright and blue and bright yellow. So yeah, whenever I get it all weathered and rusted, junked up, it's gonna look pretty good. And so now I'm just kind of blending and adding another layer of glaze to the top parts, the high spots, where there might be light. His arms are also going to get a little dusting of pastel powder. He's got like little hairs, like he's got hairy arms. So I may go in with just a light, very, very light black gray and just paint them by hand. There's not too much there, and I don't want to overdo it, But yeah, this is the fun part. Blend that edge a little bit, a little harsh. I might get some blackening in his hairs and stuff. You're not going to see these edges. So you working on anything easy? What project you got working on right now? After I get done with this project, I've got Ninja Turtles printing. Right. I've got Donatello's base on the printer right now. The parts for Michelangelo and Leonardo are done. I'll finish printing Donnie. Print Raphael. I'm just gonna paint them all at once because they're the LA Figures ones, and so they're super simple, which I really like. I also like that, just like, 90s kind of classic cartoon look. I don't like the new Ninja Turtles. Zez Studio Ninja Turtles are really good. I mean, that from an artistic standpoint, they're beautiful, but I don't like that character style. You know what I mean? Like, Zez is amazing. The art, that 3D sculpture is fantastic. But like I said, it's just that style of Ninja Turtle, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle. I don't particularly get down with that. And this is my collection. I'll do what I want. Now I've got a very special kind of. I did a custom book shelves or built-in shelves in my office when I moved in, and so I made some like long, the kind of short shelves above the TV, and the Ninja Turtles set is going to be perfect. I may actually even have room to do a Splinter and Shredder up there too, but I'm gonna get the Turtles done first. Ninja Frogs. Yeah. So yeah, he's here. I don't know if you heard me, but are you working on any projects? You painting anything right now? I'm also going to be doing a predator statue for my bearded dragon. It's a bit of a funny project I got lined up for that. There we go. It's hard to tell. I think I need to paint in his lips and his teeth, so I can get a better idea what's going on with the skin tone there. But can you kind of see up underneath the chain there? Yeah. Oh yeah, oh, nice. Right on. I love it. You're at work. Don't apologize to me, dude. I'm not at work. Don't get caught. Hour 11 of a 12-hour. Dang, dude. All right, well, good luck. I mean, you're on your way out. You're in the last hour, so I know it's tough. You hang in there, bro. It's been a while since I was, young enough working those kinds of hours. I'm an old man now, so I keep old man hours. But man, I remember being young and working that 12-hour shifts. Doesn't matter what you're doing. 12 hours is a long time to be doing anything. Especially if it's like manual labor. Hard work. That long. Just being on your feet. Like I said, even just working customer service, waiting tables, doesn't matter. It's a long time to be doing anything. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on your last hour. That's pretty cool. All right, on. Yeah, my younger days, I worked at a UPS loading hub. That was probably the worst job I've ever had. Right? Yeah, that's a good attitude. Could always be worse, right? Can't tell you how many times that thought got me through the day. Go out digging ditches or something. But anyway. Yeah, working at a UPS job, man, that was tough loading those trucks. Right on. Trying to get some nice definition in here now. Could probably push it one more glaze layer. but yeah, starting to get some shadows in there. Still a little contrasty. Maybe one more glaze just to feather it a little bit. Well, this one I do want to be a little bit lighter on his face. Hold on to some of that darkness. Play any tabletop RPGs? No, I never really got into that. I've always thought it was interesting though. I was just never in the crowd of people that did that kind of thing. I'm sure I would have loved it. I guess it's not too late. I shouldn't say I wouldn't give it a try if the opportunity presented itself, but no. What about you? Tabletop games? I know it's really popular. I've gotten a couple requests to paint some like Warhammer, I think is what they're called. I've gotten a couple requests to paint some Warhammer sets, but I tried and they're just too small. Like honestly, this is probably going to be the last like small project I do, because painting small is really difficult. Like even what I'm doing now, like I'm having a hard time blending, the light and the dark together with this glaze. No matter what I do, I still seem to get a little bit of a line. And normally on a 1/6 scale statue, I would just hit it with an airbrush, and it would just feather it all out. But this is just way too small. Get into D&D, that's cool. Yeah, I thought about sending out a thing in my neighborhood, because we have like a neighborhood Facebook thing, just seeing if anybody plays any table games, and are looking for some newbies. Yeah, it does seem like it'd be a lot of fun. It also, I don't know if I'd have time. I mean, my life is crazy busy with work and stuff, and it's hard for me to even find time to do this sometimes, and I have to make myself do it. Like even tonight, it was between this or watching The Fifth Element for the 1200th time. But motivation is a bitch. Yeah, painting miniatures is tough. I got respect for guys that do that. I see I've got a couple subs on Instagram, and watching them paint models and painting minis. It's a cool technique, and I've learned a lot from like the brush techniques of miniature painters that I'm actually trying to apply right now. But I don't quite have the swagger to do what they do, man. They do some hard paint stuff. I know they would go like super contrasty, like the top of this would be super white, and then they would blend in between. And I guess at that size you can have kind of a higher contrast. You don't have to worry about blending so much, but I enjoy making 1/6 scale models. I think that's my jam. Quarter scale is almost too big, but I've got a couple slots for some quarter scale statues that I got to fill in too. So yeah, man. It's like I know if I'm having a bad day or if I'm feeling shitty or whatever, I know painting will at least make me forget about it for a little while, but just getting motivated to go and sit down and do it sometimes is like the hardest part. So I try to implement a 5-minute rule. I sit down for 5 minutes, try it out. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I get up and go do something else. Yeah, I got into this just because like I've always been like an artist, since I was young. I sculpted with clay and other stuff, and then I got into 3D animation, 3D art when I in high school. And it was like I'm dating myself now, when it was like basically brand new. Like Corel Draw 3D or some shit was the first program I ever used. And but yeah, I've always been into making 3D stuff and being generally artistic and a bit of a science nerd. So I love the science of the 3D printing. The chemistry of it, the UV light, and all that. I think it's fascinating, and it's fun thinking about like orientation and running supports. Think about the physics of how it gets pulled up off the plate and stuff. So yeah, it's like I've kind of been looking for, and then just the general like 80s kid. It's the future. I can push a button on a computer or on a device, and this physical thing just like pops out and it's in my hand, and now I get to paint it. And that is super cool. It's weird. It's like I feel like it's a great time for humans. It's also like the worst fucking time for humans. With everything's going on out there, it's nice to be able to have an escape. I could really build up these big muscles. All right, I think one more like light detail pass. I'll give that a second to try. One more detail pass on both of these. That'll be good. It should only take a second. I'm literally just hitting the high spots. Yeah, right. I mean, I will. Some people don't have the patience, find the passion for it, and those are the ones you'll find giving away their printers for basically nothing. But yeah, I think once you get good at, like, once you see the potential of it and you get into it and you learn a little bit about it, it's hard to want to stop. Like I started with a little tiny Anycubic 4K, like it was literally the size of like a shoebox, like it was tiny. I still have it because the thing's a beast and it still prints awesome. But I upgraded to a M3 Premium after my first commission. Actually, the first statue I commissioned, I used that money to upgrade my printer. Now that I think about it, yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I've only been doing this for a couple of years, but this is like this is my lifelong hobby. I mean, I know that for a fact. I will do this until I can no longer hold a paintbrush steady. And even then, I'm going to try to figure out a way to continue to do it. Because yeah, I think I love it. Like you said, it's just, yeah. Super glad I found this hobby. It's also really cool to know that there's like like people like you out there, that are really interested in, like there's a I wouldn't say it's mainstream, but it's definitely got, a lot of people in it that love to do it, passionate about it. And you get a group of people like that. And makes it fun. Going to conventions, going to just talking to people. You got something in common, you know. No matter what you paint, print or paint. I think that's pretty cool. The community aspect of it. The fact that you and I are talking about it right now. Yeah, yeah. I don't think I ever want to get into like printing for money, you know? Like, I'm not going to do it on a regular, like, kind of thing. But if an opportunity presents itself, I did learn something with my first commission. I learned that I'm not really interested in painting things that don't interest me. Like, I was commissioned to paint a, what was it? Some World of Warcraft character. I can't remember his name now. The wizard guy. Anyway, I mean, it was fun to paint, you know, but it was a slog just because I wasn't really that into it. And so just made it a job, and that part I didn't necessarily like. I guess what I'm saying is if I do take a future commission, it's going to be something in the universe of things that I like, so I can print 2 of them and keep one for myself. Right now, I just want to build up my collection and kind of surround myself with little plastic people, as my wife likes to say. A plastic people room. Also, the collectors, like the actual, like the big studio statues, that stuff is crazy expensive. Like, I mean, I get it; it's a lot of work, but you know, but like the Iron Studios and you know all the big the big studio factories, like I just feel like they've got an assembly line of people. They may have some like finishing artists or something that I'm not knocking their work. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it's still basically mass produced. I mean, they may only do a 1,500 or whatever, 1,000 in a run. And sure, having one of 1,000 in the world is that's one thing, but I just couldn't justify paying those prices because it's crazy. They do some amazing work. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not knocking. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I just couldn't see paying that kind of money. Yeah, yeah, that's what we're doing. We are collecting some plastic. All right, I'm gonna paint his face because it's starting to bother me now. Actually, you know what? Where's that brown rose at? That's a little bit of a fleshy mouth color. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you can make your own. You can make it, and you can make it whatever size you want. You can make it however big you print. I mean, whatever you're capable of doing. Like you can just max it out, man. You can make it awesome. You can paint it the way you want it. Paint the colors if you want to go crazy, and and like this Lobo thing. Like I have no idea what colors I'm painting. I pulled a couple reference material things, but I'm just kind of making it up. That's what's fun. That's the fun part. Actually, I am gonna glaze that. Actually, I'm mixing a drop of off white. just so that it's not pink pink or dark pink. There we go. And a couple drops of glaze. Just build it up a little bit or thin it down a little bit without losing color. I usually don't like to mix colors custom, but just for this little tiny amount. Well, going right in his mouth. Maybe a little bit on the dog paws. Actually, that's a good idea. While I got it. Which key? Let's go a little bit wider. And we're going to do that cold white. A Darth Jar Jar, that's funny. I've seen that model. I know what you're talking about. That's hilarious. I gotta do some Star Wars stuff. I've got right? It does. Absolutely. Yeah, speaking of doing stuff I want to do, I'm for my bearded dragon I have over here. I'm gonna extend his enclosure and down to the floor and build a little ramp and stuff. Got acrylic and plexiglass to do that with, but I put in a water fountain, like a water feature, and on the top of the water feature, Wicked 3D, one of their Patreons was a predator statue, and so I'm going to do that and put it on top of the the water feature in the bearded dragon enclosure. I think that's going to be awesome. I'm just painting his whole mouth, kind of this pink flesh right now. And I'll go back. His teeth. And his lips. I don't know if I want to record all the do a video with all the bearded dragon. I'll do a little bit. I'm not gonna, as part of the predator statue final presentation. Maybe I'll show it in the dragon enclosure. Spikes on his jacket. Keep sticking me. Alright, dude, hold still. remember having to go back that deep. Go back deep enough? I did. There we go. Starting to get a little life in them now. Yeah, I hope so. All right. We're just going to work on this all together now. Paint his little toe beans. Painting toe beans. And I know these are probably going to be black, but they're not all black, so it'll be kind of a black speckling. I'm going to see this anyway. Are you painting the one in the enclosure? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. You mean the fountain, the water feature thing? I mean, it's already kind of pre-made. So I'm just gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna modify the bottom of the statue, the base of the statue that came with the predator, because it's like a tree that he's standing on or something, and that could look pretty good. So I'm gonna wait until I get the enclosure all finished and see how much space, like vertical space, I have. And I may just do the tree and everything, and hell, I might even do the little Arnold Schwarzenegger and the little Dutch. Put him down at the bottom. I don't want to freak out my bearded dragon either, though, which is also a concern. And once he sees that neither of them move, then he'll probably be okay with it. But beardies don't adjust to change very well. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. Tell you what, this is way too much detail. I don't know why I'm doing this. Nobody's gonna see it. gonna come back and paint red, but right now this little brown rose glaze will at least help me visualize it. The rest of them, I know, like dog lips, you know, they're usually black. There's also usually a hint of a flesh tone in there too, so like a pink flesh. That is what I'm going to try to do here. Give it like a little, like an undertone of pink flesh. More often. A little bit of a flesh kind of undertone around his eyes a little bit. I think his eyes are going to be red, but I'm going to give him like just a little, just some touch of these little fleshy bits, you know, like it's showing through his fur. Go back and I'm going to dry brush a little bit with the off-white, probably just to bring out, you know, the fur, the highlights of the fur a little bit. little touches of undertone, fleshy undertone will stick around even after I start to black it out. Oh, I missed a support. Super tiny.
This total galaxy. The real deep down you is the whole universe. And it's doing your living organism and all its behavior. It's expressing it as a singer sings a song.
Better tell the difference between what's support and what's teeth. One's clean. Where was I? Five. Well, man, I hope I'm helping this hour go by for you. What color his collar is. That I will have to look up. Right on. That did go by fast. Oh, that's funny. Trying to give him a little bit of a, yeah, just kind of a little bit of fleshy undertone. Some spots, almost at random. I'm going to go back in and black out his nose and lips and stuff. Paint his whole nose. Wants to be a little patchy. Let's get that off-white dry brush going before we go any farther. See how I'm using collaborative language? It's we now. Alright, so I hate trying to dry brush off white because I can never tell like how much paint I've unloaded from the white or from the brush. I also have to use my little extra palette over here because these little wells are too small. Dry brush, a little bit of a wetness. It's not totally dry because if it's totally dry, it'll be kind of powdery. But if you wet your brush, the paint will come off a little easier. And it will prevent it from getting like too powdery. Unless you want powdery, like some fabric. Sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a drier look. Oh yeah, see, that's way too much. Oh, much paint. Yeah, we did. We got through that. Nicely done. Miller time. Oh my, there's so much white in this brush right now. Can't get it out. I'm sorry, I'm kind of off camera here. I'm trying to get this white out of this brush and I can't get it to unload. There we go, that's better. That's probably too much on. Turn that back up a little bit. Start the back. I'll give it just, okay, yeah, this is perfect. Just a little bit of a lighter hit on the fur. Oh yeah, that looks much better. I saw this other thing the other day. I want to try it out. A dude was using a big Lego, you know, the big green Lego plates. You know, it had all the bumps on it. He was using that as his dry brush, like removal. Instead of like, because I feel bad like wasting paper towels, like so many paper towels and stuff. I try to like my gloves. I'll try to reuse as much of it as I can. Just trying to be a, you know, not an asshole to the environment. But yeah, so he's using this little Lego piece as his, you know, paint remover. I want to try it because it seems like it worked, but I also don't know how much work like extra work it's going to be. You know, if it's a big pain in the ass. And then what, do you just like wash it clean, I guess, with like alcohol? That's what I would do. Painting a doggy butt. Dry brushing was probably the very first like quote unquote technique that I ever learned. And I still suck at it 2 years in. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. You're right. There is like an STL, like a thing that you can print. I totally forgot about that thing too. I might try that myself. Thanks for reminding me. I do remember seeing that because I think I was on the same Googling when I was trying to figure out if the Lego thing would work. I came across that STL and I tried to totally forgot about it. All right, come on. I think what it would make it good, like that technique really work well, is also because you don't want the paint to be like totally dry. Like if it's too dry, you get a weird like a powdery effect. Same thing like I was saying here. It's like have a little bit of like wetness in your towel, um, because it helps the paint float a little bit evenly, even though it is technically a dry brush. And there's no good place to hold this guy while I'm doing this either. All right, now he's starting to look like something. So you can see the difference. Now when I go in and black out all his mouth and stuff, it'll look really good. Oh, I forgot to dry brush inside. I mean, I forgot to do the pink inside of that one ear. Get that before I forget again. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad I went back and did that. First time I painted this, I did them in a London gray, and then did the deck tan as the dry brush, and it just looked like concrete. Like it just looked like a gargoyle or something. Which for future knowledge, that definitely paid off because now for my Ninja Turtles, for the concrete areas on the base, Dungeon Gray and Deck Tan are the way to go. Um, so I did learn something, but then I just ended up. The first thing I did today was base coated him in Deck Tan. There's still a little bit of gray underneath, but you're not going to see any of that. And he's holding on to a dirty engine, so I guess he would be a little dirty underneath on his undercarriage. I'm not trying to. I don't go for like super realism, but I also don't go for like the straight comic book look either. Like hard color. I like to have a lot of dirtiness, a lot of weathering. Um, on his tail there. But yeah, I mean, I don't like I said it's not like total realism, just like a little realism I like to have, and a lot of a lot of shade, like a lot of weathering and grunge. That to me is honestly the most fun part of the project is the weathering stage. Like in this case, I'm getting everything base coated, and then I'm going to do all the weathering because he is a very, very dark and weathered character. So yeah, I'm going to get all the base coats in first, and then start, and then the get all the base coats in first, seal it, then do the metals, then do the weathering. I want to weather the metals as well. And then I'll seal it. Should I seal it and then do the metals? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do the weathering. And then I gotta go back and weather the metals. Yeah, that heavy comic style with the hard lines and stuff. That's pretty cool too, but I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have the eye for that. I don't know if I particularly like that look either. I mean, it's cool, but would I want to look at it every day? I'm getting paint out of this thing now. Wet it. Smidge. Around his little cigar and stuff's a pain in the ass. Gotta make sure I'm kind of building them up to be about the same. All right, almost there. Getting a little bit more on this one. Nope, still more. Thanks, Easy man. Take it easy, and yeah, thank you, and have a safe trip home. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And the old car wash brushstroke here, giving it a twirl. All right, that's good enough, I think. Nice white, too white, perfect amount of white. I think I may need to go one more round of glaze on that skin tone. Maybe even mix in a little bit of white just to really bring it up a little bit, because it's still darker than where I want it to be. Yeah, I think I'm gonna mix in a little bit of white there. I hope you guys didn't just hear me drinking water. I thought I muted it. Don't need this anymore. Drop of this white. Lighten up this pastel blue even more. starting to get some definition now. Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened? Hopefully I can glaze over it. Hey, what's up? Glad you got back connected with me again. That's pretty awesome. Oh, what time is it? Oh, I got a little bit left in me. Um, I need to let that dry. I'm messing with it too much. So I'm gonna let that dude dry. I'm gonna work on the dog, but I don't know what color his collar is supposed to be. So let's see. Checking some reference material real quick. I don't have a good shot. Really? Yeah, alright. Black. Alright, cool, yeah. What you having for dinner? Taking a little smoke break. Alright, black it is. Let's paint something with a little bit of color. See what's going on here. This German camo green I'm gonna do for the. Wait, I want to do that. No, I'm gonna do this elf green for the base. Grilled chicken, steamed rice. That's so healthy. That's such a healthy dinner. Well, congratulations, that you did. You're doing better than me. Let me tell you. I think I had chicken nuggets. Smells like baby poop. I don't need that much paint. It should be good, like a base green color. And I'll use the bright green camo to give it some highlight before I dirty it all up again. I wonder if I should black this. I should black this out first, because this is gonna look weird. That's all I need. Where's my matte black? Oops. All water in that glaze over there. Gotta get a better water bottle. This old barbecue sauce bottle is not the most precise instrument for dropping water. Got a stray bristle. Oh, say easy while you're. I don't want to interrupt your eating, so don't drop your fork or anything to answer my question. But I was curious how you found my channel. Was it like a suggestion? Were you like for like the YouTube homepage, or did you just click on the live button? Sometimes I just do that. Like if I'm looking for something to watch on YouTube, I'll click on the live button and see who's doing stuff. But I'm just curious for my own personal edification. I gotta do something about that bristle. It's driving me crazy. Just hanging out there. Oh, it just keeps on coming. Alright, there it goes. I need to speed this part up a little bit here. Brush is way too big for what I'm attempting to do here. I don't know why I persist. Yeah, I'm getting some dangerous territory now. Let's get something smaller here. 6, that's the opposite. 1. That will do. I have the right tool for the job, right? Oh no. Probably seal this before I move forward, but I'm kind of ready to get this project done, so I think I'm gonna kick it into high gear this weekend. It's almost done. I really don't have that much left to do here. I mean, there's a lot of detail, like metal work and stuff. There still is quite a bit to do, I guess. At this point, my main concern is just not messing up the existing paint. Tired of repainting. I've repainted this. Seems like a lot. Oh goodness, it's tiny. I think I might be getting to the end of my tank here. I'm starting to struggle. That reference material again, that's not right. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Never painted a dog face before. Feathers out. So it's black. Alright, I have to trust it. Alright. Feels alright. Oh, cat. I know, right? I think. I'm muted. I guess I wasn't saying much. But I'm gonna gradient up around that little fleshy part above his lip, but I think I'm gonna make it a little more brown, so I don't know, it may darken it a little bit. But right now I'm just gonna finish this base coat. Come back to that in a minute. It's like the perfect music for painting tiny things. I don't know why. Just vibing. Like playing a mini game at just enough drive behind you to make you want to keep going, but a little bit of caution in there. Make you be careful. Alright, Easy, you better not be still watching me. You should be in bed. Fucking 12-hour shift, dude. You need a siesta. Alright, man. Do your thing. I wish I had that kind of juice. I'm about to punch out. I'm going to finish this collar, and I think that's going to be it for me. But I'll be on tomorrow, probably all day. So what time zone are you in? I feel like probably got a time difference here. Oh goodness, I cannot get around these little paws to paint these little spikes. I'm gonna have to do it twice whenever I come back to paint them silver. Thanks. Yeah, I got a lot done tonight. I'm pleased with the output. And I think I'm over this project though. I'm ready to get it wrapped up. I wanna get to the weathering. That's gonna be the fun part. And the metals. I like painting the metals. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, I'll be on tomorrow, so maybe you can catch me. I'll be on pretty much all day. We can paint together. You know, they have apps for everything else. Why don't they? Why isn't there like just a hanging out website together? You know, I guess you're probably asking for trouble if you gave everybody open web streams to each other. You're just asking for some shit to happen. The internet is a weird place. I should know. I helped build it. But try to stay off except for the YouTube. I figure, you know, I was a beginner for so long. I felt like I was just, you know, all the information was there and it was fantastic. And that's kind of like the best parts of the internet, I think, is that thanks to YouTube and everything else, like you can pretty much teach yourself how to do anything. It's how I taught myself how to do all this. But I know there are always beginner painters out there trying to figure some stuff out. That's the thing I try to keep in mind when I'm doing my little video tutorials and stuff. I was like, you know, if I was a beginner, what would I want to hear? What would be helpful? Like this video, I think I'm going to cover glazing, you know, like how I glazed his skin. I have to do a little repair job on this guy because I got a little splotch of white right there. Yeah. I'll give him some extra veins or something. I do need to get this glaze perfected though before I quit for the night because I'm not going to try to mix it up again. Water added to it. Now it's going to dry in pools. I don't want to do that. Blend some of these edges a little bit. Why is everything so liquidy? What's going on in my brush here? Cool, right on. Yeah, I'm on tomorrow. Jump on, say hi. keep flipping back and forth between these glazes because I need it to be a little bit thicker in some spots, but then a little thinner in others. Or I'm trying to like trying to blend. Thing with glazes, you just kind of have to keep working them. But work them well enough, they blend pretty good. It's even probably smoother than airbrushing if you get really good with it. I'm happy with that. I'm not so happy with this. Not so happy with this. I want to see the color shift, but I don't want to see the lines where it shifts. It's just like building it up and building it up. Try to put it on too thick, and you end up with brush strokes. All this is going to be hair anyway. I don't even want to waste my time. Yeah, so this I'm using for blending. This I'm using to brighten.
Really does sound like an intertwine. What a beautiful sound you get out of it. That's really something. It has a range to low A and up to high G. High G.
Just kind of stippling it around the edges just to kind of blend them. What color do the veins? It's just a darker blue. Definitely need a little something. Once I varnish it, it's going to get more of a darken down, but it's looking pretty good. Go around his face, get some details, metals. Just make sure that I'm done glazing. Little brush strokes in there. All right. Definition in the arms. Shading in there. I'm gonna finish painting him black. I'll finish painting him tomorrow because I think I'm done. Yeah. Yeah, if I try to do this now, I'm just gonna wreck it. But made some progress. Dog's looking pretty good. It's gonna have red. I think they're both gonna have like bright red eyes. Which means I gotta cold white them first. Notice the spot. oversaturated it and lost my gutter. That actually kind of made it look better though. Washing it out and dabbing it up. Interesting. That mistake may have just led to a new technique. Fill it with paint, flood it with water, and then dab it up. It gives you a nice soft absorption of water and paint. Yeah, that's interesting. Go back and tidy this up a little bit. Leave it alone. Or make it any worse. Alright, yep. I'm just messing up. But I think it looks good. Yeah, time to hang it up. Have a good night. I will catch you tomorrow.